February, the shortest month of the year, I read some great books, but some long ones. Let's talk about it. Hello, lovely book dragons, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Joana, and I love to talk about books on this channel, specifically fantasy books. And today I'm here with my February wrap-up. Somehow I said I wasn't gonna do monthly wrap-ups anymore in 2022, and I've been doing one for every month so far. So today I'm going to talk about the 5 books that I was able to complete in the month of February. One of them was a carryover from January, and actually I only had read 100 or so pages of that book in February, but because I didn't count the pages towards January, I'm going to count them towards February. So talking a little bit about stats of February, I read 5 books, like I said, and across those 5 books, I read 3,618 pages. So less than in January. I was picking up only big books this month. In January, I had like those very big Throne of Glass books towards the end, towards the beginning, but I did throw in some like mysteries and some romance, and I picked up some stuff that was shorter. But in February, I read almost exclusively tomes, so that slowed down my reading by a lot, of course. Also, it's the shortest month of the year. But even though I was reading long books and less books, my rating is still a rating of 4.6 across all of these reads. So all in all, fantastic reading month. Again, in terms of enjoyment, and that is why I read, for enjoyment. A little bit more about the books I read. 100% of the books I read this month were fantasy. This is absolutely more accurate. Last month we had a few outliers with like mysteries and romance. This month we are 100% fantasy. I read 40% of my books on audio alone. I read 40% as immersion reads and 20% as a physical book. So it was like 2, 2, and 1. And then again, this month we are closer to the reality with my adult versus YA demographic. I read 80% adult books and 20% YA, which this is more representative of what I usually read. But like I said, I'm trying to finish off a ton of series that I read years and years and years ago, that I started years and years ago. So I'm reading a bit more YA this year than I usually do, but it's fine. This is though more representative of my usual reading. So the very first book I completed in the month of February, which I completed at the very beginning in the first few days, was The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, the second book in the Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, completed by Brandon Sanderson. This book I won't be talking too much about because I have a whole full spoilers reading vlog of this that's like half an hour long right here. You can go check it out. And I was a part of a live show over on Andy's channel to talk about this one. The first part I think is spoiler free, so you can go, again, check it out here or in the description of this video. I will leave the link for that there as well. This is the second book. I enjoyed it less than the first one, which is weird because a lot of people prefer this one to the first one. I think that the first one for me was just right time, right book. It meshed. I read it pretty fast. I read it over a week. And this one I dragged out over weeks because I was mostly listening to this on audio and I didn't have a ton of audio reading time this month, or at least towards the beginning of the month. And so, because I started this, in the middle of January or something like that, and it took me like 2.5 weeks to read this because of that. So I did like bust it out towards the end of January because I was like, okay, I don't want to drag this out any longer. So in the first couple of days of February, end of January, I finished this. But that I realized this month is that I was talking with my friend Sophia and my friend Stephanie, and I am like them. I need to read a book in a short amount of time. I have another book here that I loved, absolutely loved, but I just took too long to read it. And there's nothing wrong with taking your time with books. It's just that I enjoy books better if I read them almost like if I marathon the book in and of itself, which is hard to do when you have like big chonkers, but it is what it is. I read this one, I gave it a 3.5 stars. I really liked the beginning, I really liked the ending, I liked a lot of character moments, but I felt like the middle was very slow. But once again, if you want to hear more of my thoughts, my vlog, and the live show, all of that is linked somewhere for you to check out if you so wish. Next up, I did a reread of a book to read. Its sequel that was coming out this month. I reread House of Earth and Blood, the first book in the Crescent City series by Sarah J Maas. The beginning of this year is very Maas heavy. I read 2 books by Sarah J Maas in January and 2 books in February. And this one may look short and innocent, but it is over 800 pages. And this was a reread because the second book came out this month and my copy still hasn't arrived. What? But Crescent City is Sarah J Maas's officially adult series because some of her previous books are adult, but they're classified as YA. This series is officially classified as an adult series. We follow Bryce as she lives in the city called Crescent City, and she has to do an investigation with fallen angel Hunt Athalar as some murders are happening in Crescent City, and for some reason that I won't say Bryce is kind of connected to these murders, which is why she's roped into this investigation to help solve the murders that are happening. And so this is the first book. We kind of set up that world, and then I also read House of Sky and Breath, which came out this month, which my copy should arrive tomorrow. I really should have just waited to film this video, but today is when I had time to film. So I read House of Sky and Breath and this month as well. Also over 800 pages. So these two books together are each over 800 pages. It was insane. I gave this one upon a reread 5 stars. I absolutely love this book. I think this one is... So it takes its time to set up in the beginning, and then the last 200 pages is just show stopping. Like you can't even breathe. That's how this ending is. And I love this. I love getting reacquainted with the world, with the characters. And I'm so glad I ended up rereading this one. I did it 100% exclusively on audio, except for the last couple hundred pages where I just wanted to read along. I did really love my reread of House of Earth and Blood. Now, House of Sky and Breath, I don't know, I can't really, it's hard for me to rate this one because for so long, and even like I just said, this one takes its time getting set up and getting everything rolling. This one felt the same. It was also like very slow in the beginning, and then the last couple hundred pages are very much more action-packed and you have a lot of revelations. But this one, it bothered me way more than with this one because this is the first book in a series, in an adult fantasy series. I'm used to that in a first book of a series. I am not used to that in a second book of a series. You have, and especially because it's supposed to be a trilogy or like a quartet, you need to get going. You need to tell your story. You need to, come on, let's go, you know? And so as much as it dragged a little bit for me, the ending was amazing, so I can't decide if I'm going to give it a 4 stars or 4.5 stars. I have no idea, but I did read this and I did really enjoy it, and that ending was something. Then I also read Matship by Robin Hobb, the second book in the Life Ship Trader trilogies. I buddy read this with my friend Sophia. It was Sophia's thoughts, and it was a really good time reading this. But this is the one book that, again, this is over 900 pages, and we took 10 days to read this, and it was just too long. It's my fault because I asked to split it up into shorter chunks, but I need to just read my books faster, closer to each other, because I don't want to wait that long, to be honest, to read books. And I did give this 5 stars because it was phenomenal. The character development in this book is just so good. I love that we're starting to getting answers about the world and the serpents and all that stuff. It is just so, so good. But definitely when I read Ship of Destiny, I will not space them out so much because I can't. I need to read this closer together because these books are amazing and I want to enjoy them really, and I need to just marathon them a bit more because so good. But I loved it. Very excited to read the last book in the series and then continue in the realm of the Elderlings because, wow, this woman is one of the best authors out there. And the final book that I completed in the month of February, I still have today and tomorrow in February, so I may pick up a book, but I know I won't finish it, so that's why I'm filming this one day early, because I know I won't finish anything else. So the final book I completed is finally a shorter book, and it is my YA book because everything has been adult as of right now, and that is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. I give this 5 stars. I absolutely love this. I think this is a phenomenal, politically heavy, dragon heavy, post-Russian Revolution inspired fantasy novel. I won't be talking too much about this here because I am filming this for a vlog that should be coming out towards the middle of March or something like that, depending on when I finish said vlog. But it is featured in a vlog. You'll hear my more in-depth thoughts about this, but just so you know, I loved it. I think this is phenomenal. The praises that have been sung about this book are no lie. I loved it. And that, my friends, is my February wrap-up. I had a really good month. I think I still have a few chonkers coming in March, which you probably have already seen my March TBR at this point, I think. But I need to read a few shorter books because reading so many long books, it just takes so long to finish a book, which is fine. But then, I don't know, like, I need shorter books for a while. I think April I'm going to try and read a bunch of short books because, wow, these were all tomes. But that was my month. I loved every single thing I read. It's hard to pick a favorite because House of Earth and Blood is a reread. House of Sky and Breath wasn't a favorite, I think. Definitely the so it's gonna be either Matship or Fireborn. Even though House of Sky and Breath was also a ton of fun. But I think Matship was my favorite book of the month. I don't know yet, but I think so. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these and what you thought of them. Or let me know what you read in the month of February. If you just want to let me know that you're here, leave a dragon emoji. And until next time, happy reading. Bye guys.